sit here. We're gonna go with one thing that I've been working on with Stan here. He's been coming out all these Fridays, and also if you guys been paying attention, been doing some bite work stuff. So today we did some bite work with Tron, me catching him over the fence, me antagonizing, trying to get him all worked up. But now, Stan, what we're gonna do now is you're gonna start breaking down some of the footage so that you can understand all the things that I'm doing wrong, things that I'm doing right, and things that I can, of course, be doing better. So, take it away, my man.
Cool.
Let's go and start with start with some of the things that I did right, and then we'll jump. Or actually, let's just reverse. Let's start with all the things we did wrong. Or I did wrong. Excuse me.
I mean, and it's not necessarily doing things wrong because you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, so you're still figuring it out. So one thing, whenever you are working with the dog, especially in bite work, you don't want them to get bored and sit down. So there was a couple times that you got back by doing the same thing with Tron. He was just like, okay, I'm gonna wait. Because we want him to know that going forward and showing that sign that he really wants it, gets it, versus him sitting down and waiting for it. Bigger dogs, mastiffs, Rottweilers, bullies, they're gonna bait you in by having them sit down like that. So if you ever see a dog sitting down like he was, you should come up. If you have a whip or a stick or something, smack him and run away. So teaches him, hey, that sitting is actually a vulnerable point for you. When you're barking, when you're vocalizing, when you're intimidating the threat, that's gonna get me to come away, and that's gonna get you to bite a lot quicker than just sitting down.
So basically, so anytime he sits, that's when I want to kind of more so come in and really start antagonizing him, even more so presenting him maybe my hand and like slapping him around a little bit, or what does that look like?
Sometimes it's going to be, it varies different situations. So if you've came in and that's what you were doing, you were coming in and doing the same move over and over, so he got bored with it. He's like, all right, he's going to go back, he's going to come back in, he's going to go back. So one thing that I'll do is I'll go hide. So like this is perfect, this curtain here, if he's sitting down right there, go hide behind the curtain, peek out, act like a little rabbit or a gopher. You're popping out looking, you're popping out looking. When he barks, hey, you pop out again. If he sits back down, go hide. You want him to teach him that the vocalization is going to get his reward, not sitting there being patient.
Gotcha. So
in this case,
keep changing my movements. Don't do the same thing over, especially if it's not getting the type of reaction that we need. And then utilize my environment, like hiding behind things like this, playing peekaboo, if you will, or hide and seek with him, and really getting him riled up so that he's like, yo, I need to get to this dude wherever he's at so I can get that bite.
That's right.
Gotcha.
So like, you remember when you reached in and he got pretty close to your arm?
Yeah.
He's still not a civil dog just yet. A dog like Rocco, maybe Oakley. What's that? Puppy sounding like vicious over there. Maybe Oakley, she would have gotten your arm because it's acceptable. He was just going to you, and you just happened to be too close with your arm. So you got to start watching
that's my
those
free
things.
hand, or are you talking about the sleeve?
Yeah, that was your free hand that he almost got.
Gotcha.
And again, he's not looking at your free hand as a object because we haven't taught him hidden sleeve and stuff like that yet. So he's still looking for the equipment, which is good in your case, but that's something you want to start paying attention to. All your body matters. So if this is the dog and you're doing this, your knee he can get. If he really wants you, your dog can get this leg, even though this isn't in range.
So do you always want to lead with the same leg that the sleeve is on? That makes sense. If I'm with the sleeves on the left arm, I need to leave my left leg.
So you'll mix it up.
Okay.
So there's sometimes you'll see me come in because you're also gauging their distance.
Gotcha.
So there's sometimes like, yeah, you'll leave here and I'll be like, and you'll move in. So it's going to be time and a place. It's just like in hockey. You're not going to use the same move every time. If somebody's coming this way, you may spin this way. If somebody's coming this way, you may fake and go a different move. So each move is going to be used in the correct situation.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I will say the other part where I also was a little confused at, where this is where we got to work on the communication part. Both of my part too is knowing when are we going to release the bite? How many times should I really go in and antagonize him? Because he was getting worked up a couple times. So I'm like, okay, are we going to let him go now, or okay, so keep going? Like, I think that's why I was like kind of hesitant and then backing up and then hesitant, because I'm like, okay, we got him riled up, he's barking, but you hadn't let him go yet. So I'm like, what's that like rep count, I guess, look like as far as how many barks that we have to get before we let him go?
So you're in control of that as a decoy. So you should be telling me when to let go of the dog.
Gotcha. Because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you always want to be in control. So even if the dog's on leash, you're dictating when he's going to get the bite. Because from behind the leash, I can only see so much. I only have one perspective.
Gotcha.
So when you're in front of him, you can see him opening his mouth wide. Like you said, now he's chomping those teeth. Those are the signs you're looking for, and that's what you're going to want to reward. And from behind the scenes or behind the dog, it's really hard to see that. It's like, okay, he's doing certain things. Yeah, he should be ready now, but you got to make those decisions.
Gotcha.
And that's why normally, like, I'll be to the side so I can see that third perspective.
Yeah,
be like, okay, he's ready. Versus
That's
when it's
true.
behind, it's like, oh, I think he's
No, that
doing
makes sense. So
what?
that's where I was confused, because normally, yeah, you would give that cue. Okay, I'm gonna let him go now or whatever. But that makes sense. Normally, when we're doing it, there's either Jamil or someone else holding, or Trev, for instance, holding the dog. I'm on the sleeve, and you're that third person watching. So that makes sense now.
And then also as a decoy, when you're ready, you'll be like, hey, I'm gonna raise my stick hand, or I'll raise my hand and give you a wave, and that's when you let go of the dog.
Gotcha.
Because like you said, it is all about timing, because you don't want to be ready and then I hold the dog back and now the dog's not ready, or you not ready and the dog gets let go and then you get bit in the leg.
Yeah.
That's happened to me before as well.
Oh, I've seen the videos.
These are all
Believe me,
personal experiences.
I've seen the videos.
But the more comfortable you get, you'll start noticing, okay, the dog is doing X.
Okay.
That's what I want him to do. We're going to reward that. So younger dogs, if we're working on a bark, they bark one time, boom, they get a bite. Now
Gotcha.
they've gotten that one time so many times, now it's 2 times to get it. Now it's 3 times to get it.
Gotcha.
And then the more you work with that dog, it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow.
So with Tron, we never really even established where he's at right now as far as bark's concerned, right?
Yeah, because
So-
we know he will bark.
Yeah, that is correct. So
what I was doing at the very beginning is I want him to start waiting for that release command versus just, oh, he got to sleep in front of me, let me go get him.
yeah,
So hey, you sit here, and I just hit,
yeah.
and then I counted to 5. Boom, gave him that command. Now that's going to start being his trigger.
Gotcha.
So just like with Oakley and Rocco, I can put Oakley down, Rocco down, shake your hand, come up, we can hug, shake, dap it up, everything. And then when I tell him let's go, he's ready. And that's what
Gotcha.
we really need to start focusing with Tron on now, just for that.
Gotcha. All right. So far, don't repeat the same move twice. Kind of keep changing the play peekaboo if necessary. And then the second thing was
You're in control of.
I'm in control of when the bite is being released. So understanding, hey, if there's maybe 2 to 3 good barks in there, and he's the eyes are big, then give some type of signal so that it notifies you like, yo, go ahead and let him go, and then I can come catch him.
Another thing to keep in mind, if a dog, so like you see how Tron's jumping up, so some people like don't hold their dogs correctly.
Yeah.
So they'll like pull the dog back when he's in the air like that. So say for instance he's up and he gets flung back on his back.
Yeah.
You want to give a bite right after that,
Okay.
because he's gonna hit the ground, lose his wind or whatever, and we don't want that dog to have a second to think, oh my God, this hurts. We want him to hit the ground, get back up, oh, I'm back in the fight.
Gotcha. So that's another thing that I also keep is making sure I keep the sleeve on dogs like him pretty high.
And because he's athletic.
Yeah.
The lower you get, the more likely he's going to jam you.
Okay.
So me and you, we technically can't jam a dog because we're not physically big enough, but the dog could hurt us if he comes in and boom, or
Throws us off balance.
hit you here or
Gotcha.
anything like that. Somebody like Trevor's size that's big and he's damn wall, if that dog's coming and he's like boom, that dog's going to get all of that impact on the neck and spine. And you know,
Gotcha.
I've been lucky enough I hadn't seen a dog get jammed, but people told me some horror stories.
Gotcha. Bet. So then
Things you did good.
Okay.
You didn't get bit.
Yeah.
That's always a pat on the
always
back.
going to be a plus no matter what.
And then you were catching them good. So
Okay.
when he was in the air, you absorbed, let him take your body around. It wasn't like a collision, and that's the main thing about keeping these dogs safe. Everything we're doing is all about keeping that dog safe. You want to test them out, push them in stressful situations,
Yeah.
but they need to be safe at the end of the day.
Bet.
You're
All
a
right.
sparring partner to this dog. You don't want to hurt this dog in a training situation.
Okay.
Or you'd be like Kevin Durant getting hurt in warm up,
No,
missing
man,
the rest
we
of
ain't-
the season. That's
no,
crazy.
we ain't doing that, man. We got too many dogs to be taken care of to be hurt. So, well, there you've heard it first, people. Things that I could have definitely done better. Making sure I'm not repeating the same move twice. Making sure I'm letting them know that I'm in control, so I'd let them know when to release the dog when it's time to bite. And then the last thing was what? What was the third one?
You did good.
I did well. Yeah, I did good. Number 3 is I did good. So, as always, people, stay tuned. Is there anything else you want to leave them with, especially if anybody wants to get into bite work or wants to start antagonizing their dogs? What are some things that they can start with?
Start slow. Start with a sack, bite pillows, something that's not necessarily on a man just yet. Because I think it was the first thing that dogs were taught was to not bite humans.
Yeah.
So we have to get them to the point where they're riled up. They're just biting anything that moves, and then it's like, hey, bite this, and they're like, okay, cool. And then they start enjoying it. But take your time, build your dog up. Do not get in a rush to get your dog on a suit or to take stick hits and all of this stuff. Build the dog's confidence, because you do not want a liability. You want a confident dog that knows that they can handle anything that you put them in.
Absolutely. Well, remember, people, this is a process, just like he says. This is brick by brick. The only way to have the best dog is if you become better yourself on a daily basis. So, as always, take care of your dogs.